you know that I'm an event painter, which means that I paint live at events. And oftentimes this goes together with prophetic art, which means I'm asking God for a picture and then I'm painting it live at an event. And there's a lot of things that can go into that, which you might imagine. So I just thought it would be helpful to give you guys some tips on what I like to bring in my bag that I bring whenever I am doing live events. So I'm about to show you what I bring in my arsenal for live event paintings. So first off, I tricked you. I actually bring more than just a bag. Just have to be honest with you, but I'm gonna break it down for you what I bring. It's actually not a ton, and you can kind of get it down to a science after a little while. Maybe in the beginning you bring a whole ton of stuff and then you realize, oh, I actually didn't need that. It is good to be prepared overall, so you want more than you need because at the event you're not gonna have time to go back home and get stuff, but there are some things that you really just don't need. So first of all, first and foremost, we need our easel and we need whatever we are gonna be painting on. Now, oftentimes canvases are great because they're ready to go. You want something that's gonna be easy to paint on, easy to get paint on there super fast. This is actually a wood panel, and in order to get this ready, I actually primed it with different like white paint, and then I also sealed the top of it so that it wouldn't suck up the paint so fast. That's what wood does, just FYI. Then I have my easel, and then I also bring a table. The reason I bring this is because I have a bunch of things that I'm going to need to get access to while I'm painting, such as my cup with water and paintbrushes. And it's just easier not to be bending down all the time, up and down, up and down. You need things to be fast and smooth. So I bring a little fold-out table, and then here's my next item, which I started to show you. This is a little caddy that people use for cleaning supplies typically, but I really like it for art stuff. You can see all my mess in here. But it fits my cup, which I keep all my brushes in, very messily, very sloppily. But what I like about a caddy, besides the fact that there's more room to hold paints, if I know what colors I'm gonna be painting with, I can just go ahead and preload them right here. But it also makes a steady framework for my cups, because when I am painting live, sometimes I'm getting excited and I'm trying to move fast, and it is entirely possible to make your cup fall onto the ground, all the water, all the paintbrushes, so noisy, so distracting. So I like this because it has a little framework and it's going to prevent it from falling quite so easily. So then, as you might imagine, paints. Now, you probably don't need all these paints. I really love this suitcase, by the way. Thank you, my friend that got it for me. You know, Amy? I probably don't need all these paints every time that I go, but a lot of times I don't actually get my picture of what I'm going to be painting until I'm already there. And so I do tend to overbring on paints, because if I need a color and I don't have it, there's nothing you can do at that point. So that is one thing that I overbring on. But you can, if you know your picture already beforehand, you can just say, oh, I only need green and pink and white and blue, and then we're good. And that's awesome. Then you only need to bring a little bit of things. Totally do that. That's fantastic. But that's one thing that I kind of splurge on when it comes to space. Here is my actual bag that I bring, and in here goes a tarp. And you know, a tarp is just like a drop cloth. I actually prefer something softer, not like a plastic tarp, but actually like a drop cloth. And that's for catching paint. You don't want to be rude to the facility that you're going to. You want to just be polite and be a blessing. So, you know, for you to leave paint drops where you are painting is not creative and romantic. It's horrible. So you want to be as clean as possible. So I put my tarp in here, my cloth, drop cloth. I said it again. And then I also put my water in here, because you could be painting for a while. And if you're worshiping while you're painting, your throat could get dry. I also bring my snacks. I like to bring something that's not typically very loud and going to be super crunchy, and because you don't want to be a distraction. And then I also have in here like miscellaneous art supplies, like I put my sealant stuff if I want to seal the painting after I'm done. And then I will also have like aprons and extra cloth. Something very important too is you want to have some paper towels with you. You could just use cloth, and that's fantastic for the environment. There is something I think, and artists know this, different about the different qualities of cloth versus paper and things that it leaves behind on the brushes or on the canvas, things like that. So I bring this whole roll of paper towels, I really do. The next thing that you're gonna wanna bring is a light source. Now you could have something big. The church or facility could even have something for you, like an actual lamp. I've seen it done a lot of different ways. You could get something small. I don't actually recommend this one, but it could work in a pinch. Something small that can clip on the top and kind of shine just a little bit. Or you could, I've seen big rigs that have lightings on the bottom that shine up. You could even get little small lights that will do that directionally. Or again, you could actually bring a whole lamp and stick it next to your painting, depending on how dark it is when you're painting. So you for sure need to have light, and keep in mind that if you have a warm light bulb, that is going to be affecting your color as you're putting it on, but you're just going to have to deal with it if that's what you have, and just keep that in mind as you're mixing. Other thing, you will want something to have on hand for making marks on your canvas before, or whatever you're painting on, before you actually put paint on. So I really like chalk, and especially a light colored chalk, because it's not going to leave a huge mark like pencil. But if you're a pencil person, awesome. And so I just like to, sometimes I'll draw in the design before I actually start painting, and that kind of helps me to just do it really fast. So you're definitely going to want this. And besides all of this, you're definitely going to want to bring prayer, because especially if it's a prophetic painting, you're going to want to be just soaking with God, just communing with him, just being in his presence, figuring out what it is that he is trying to speak to you. What is he saying to the people that you're painting for? And then some just really amazing moments can happen from that, and some amazing paintings can happen from that. I also will use my cell phone as references for different pictures if God shows me something and I don't know how to paint it. There's nothing wrong with bringing a reference, either something that's printed on paper or having your cell phone out. I've seen very amazing, talented artists doing this over and over and over again. There's no shame in it at all, and that's just how we create art, is often just from looking at things. So I will almost always bring some kind of reference material, unless I've really thought it out beforehand, which is okay to do also. So when we are event painting, just to wrap this all up, we want to be this sharpened instrument. We don't want to distract. We want to hone everything about our craft for this one moment to bless this group of people, whatever that group might be there for. And so even down to the way that you dress and all the things that you bring in your arsenal, you just want to be prepared and you want to be ready. You want to just point people towards God the whole time. You don't want to point people towards your strange clothes or your rustling bags or things like that, or your paint spilling over. We want to be a blessing. So I hope that this video was a blessing for you. And thank you so much for just watching. Thank you so much for coming on the journey with us. Please like and subscribe and turn on the notifications button, because we're going to have a bunch more creative adventures for you guys, more how-tos, more tips, more behind the scenes, things like that. This is a channel for passionate Christian creatives, and I just hope that you'll come on the journey with us. God has uniquely called you to the sphere that you are in and to the mode of creativity that you have, whatever that might be, so many different areas. And so we can't wait to see what God is going to do with you, and we want to be a part of that too. So be so blessed, you guys.